So I've been home for 2 weeks now after spending about 4.5 months down in the Central Pacific and down in Fiji and Kiribati on fanning. And this weekend, a bunch of buddies, Jojo, and a bunch of buddies of mine are all heading out to Cape Kiwanda for one last hurrah before I head back to the Central Pacific again on this coming Monday. And this time, I'm riding the sailing cargo ship, the Kauai, because it's like an old pirate ship, down to the northern Cook Islands, very remote part of the Cook Islands, and I'm really stoked about that. Brad, the owner of the Kauai, he hired me to go film the cooks, and so this might be an excellent opportunity for me to maybe, do something professional for once. I'm heading off this coming Monday. Probably be gone for another few months, and by the time I get back it'll be about summertime. It might look sunny and beautiful here, but it's still pretty damn chilly. It's been raining non-stop since I've been back, so this is a nice change of events. I think this is the first time I've seen the sun since I've been back from fanning, to be honest. So yeah, we're heading off to the coast. Gonna be one last hurrah. It's gonna be a good old fun having time. Oh, there's two bald eagles up there. Wow, those are two big old bald eagles flying around up there. Look at them go. Woohoo! Beautiful. What a gorgeous day. Also, in exchange for me filming this trip down to the Cooks, Brad purchased for me a new camera and a new drone, so yes, I won't have to worry about my sound failing all the time on this piece of shit. Greg Doreen! Look! It's the brand new Mavic Air!
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I'm excited to use this thing! So I have a bit of a problem. I showed up to Christmas Island and I came up to the customs agent and they're like, your name's Cameron? I'm like, yes. Last name's Peterson? I'm like, yeah, my last name's Peterson. And she's like, one moment. And she took off into the back. A few minutes later, she came back and said, we're gonna have to put you in the back room. And so they put me in a waiting room for a while. And after that, they brought me out to a table, had me unload all my bags, and put my camera gear in one pile and my clothes in another pile. And they ended up taking all my camera gear, my laptop, my drone, and everything. They didn't say why, and they took my passport too. And they said not to allow me to go on to fanning, which sucks because I plan on doing a film trip for the Kauai down on the northern Cooks, and my goal was to actually meet with the Kauai and head down to the Cook Islands from here instead of going and filming fanning this time. I don't know what exactly it could be. Sinwa thinks it's political and it could be waged against him because I'm his friend, and some of the political parties don't like him very much because he's too honest, apparently. Or it could be Chuck over in Tarawa because I chose to do this film trip over going to Butaritari with him and helping with the film trip that he'd want me to do last minute when I already committed to doing this, and basically said goodbye. So I really don't know what's going on. I'm gonna kind of just figure out as I go, but they didn't take my phone, so literally they know I can still film with my phone in 4K. Which is excellent news. I can keep you updated. Ceci is doing her gardening. They took my camera, so now I have to use my phone. Today's the third day that I've been on Christmas Island. I just got a note from my mother and from Brad on my Garmin InReach that the government had seized my cargo off the Kauai, which really sucks. And I still haven't heard anything. They haven't stopped by. They were supposed to stop by yesterday with my passport, but they haven't brought it back at all. And yeah, it's quite the interesting dynamic. I definitely think it was Chuck who who alerted them, which he's kind of going off the rocker a bit over on Taro. I don't know what's going on with him. He's some big vision of things, but it's more like a delusion that he's playing out, and he's the type of guy apparently to screw people over just to fulfill his destiny or whatnot. So I don't know, we'll see where this goes. Been sitting here messaging back and forth with Brad on my the owner of the Quai on my Garmin InReach, and he says that I should go visit the captain, whose name is Kim, who I've not met yet. So I'm gonna go do that here very soon. Here we have Aaron again. Hey Aaron, we met up.
That's pretty usual.
We got some rum and coke. Since I'm no longer going on the Quai, I provided some rum for the squad.
Well, that's just crazy.
Oh, Barry.
Dude, that was such a good time. I wasn't going to say it.
I've been robbed.
You got 2 video cameras on you.
I've got like doubling up on my.
Yeah. You got Christmas ham on Christmas Island.
Yeah.
We have Barry serving it up
On the 12th of March.
on the 12th of March.
You want to be something, you want to be down or do you want to be up? So,
India always want to be
we're
up.
talking about how north and south on the earth
Yeah.
was decided. And I believe that when it was decided that you wanted to be up or down, you were north or south. And so the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere were based on up and down rather than,
Yes.
because north and south mean nothing to most of us, but up and down do mean something.
If you look at space-time continuum, for example, there's
With
no
2
up and down.
U's.
I managed to get off Christmas Island safely. All my camera gear is still there. Hoping I can go back in a couple weeks to meet up with the Quad to go down to the Cook Islands, but now I'm in Denver, meeting up with my parents. Quite the contrast from being on a ship in the middle of the Central Pacific to being on a mountain in Colorado skiing for the week.
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't dressed for the snow.
No, Penny, come on, Penny.
Hi, Penny.
Here's Champ.
Oh, hi, Penny and Champ. Look at you.
Penny, come on. 50 knot winds in Denver today.
Blizzard coming in.
2 feet of snow.
Oh yeah.
Down to minimums. Airplanes are having a hard time getting in. But we're stuck here in the mountains.
And enough food and wine.
We got the family with food and
And I got a
wine.
broken toe. I'm off for another month.
Oh yeah,
Let
baby.
it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Well, you weren't getting on the flight after a week. You didn't have your passport. So Tim advised us to get the State Department involved. But he had been advising us all along. We waited long enough. Dad's contacting Jamie Herrera's office, who was going to look into it. I called the U.S. Embassy in Fiji, which is responsible for Kiribati, and the number was disconnected. So I had to call Washington, D.C. Then they transferred me to Fiji, who then transferred me to a person responsible for Kiribati. And I talked to a lady on the phone right at the end of business day, the night before you came home. And I also sent an email, and this you can't get it recorded because there's like 4 communications back and forth.
Oh yeah,
But anyway, the next morning you're on the airplane.
I made it.
Whether it came from your end or
Mama
this
Bear
end.
was so worried.
I thought
she's
you were
my
going to
guardian
prison. I
angel.
thought you were going to prison
I know.
for the rest
Locked
of
me
your life.
away in the
I said it
Kiribati
would be
prison.
good for him. I'm like, send that kid to prison. He needs to learn a lesson.
Dad said, he better not have had marijuana because he's going to stay there. We're not doing anything.
Mom Bear and I hiked a few miles up this trail, and we've finally made it to our destination. And it is spectacular. All my camera gear is still detained on Christmas Island, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it back or not. The government's still holding it. I'm having a local working on trying to get it all back. Oh, Mom Bear just fell. You're doing good, Mom. She's falling and she can't get up. Anyways, I don't know if it's safe for me to return to the country or not yet. Apparently there might be charges on me for taking video all of this is Chuck's fault. He totally stabbed me in the back, screwed me over. I thought he was my friend. I trusted him. I told him everything, and basically everything I told him, he basically showed all the messages to government. And it was me talking about, like, when I was there, Pegasus offered, me to just go around with their fishermen and pay me $500 a week. And of course, I'm like, yeah, of course, that sounds like a great idea. I'm on Fanning, I get to hang out with Ema Tongs, and so that was a great setup for me. And I told Chuck that. He turned that in to the government, saying that I was working illegally there and that I was making money off all my films, which I'm not, because I'm doing them all for this series that I've made no money off of it all so far. So I have literally my entire life is on Christmas Island right now. All my camera gear, my laptop, drones, cameras. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on and get permission from government to go back there so I can board the quai when they come back from Chalana and Taboran and go down to the Cook Islands to film that section. Since it's not part of Kiribati, I will be able to film there. Oh my gosh, look at that view. That's amazing. This is spectacular. It's been like 3 days ago I was on Christmas Island, and actually I was on Christmas Island on the quai, and my cargo got detained, and I wasn't allowed to go to Taboran or Washington with the quai because the government, they seized all my gear and everything. Anyways, I was on board the quai, and the captain and the customs official were there, the police were there, and they wouldn't let the boat leave without me getting off. So, and the captain talked to me before I deboarded the ship. He pulled me aside and was like, Cameron, there's a bunch of charges against you, and I think once you go up on that wharf, they might very well arrest you. I recommend getting a lawyer from maybe Tarawa. I don't know if there's a local lawyer or not. And I wish you the best of luck, buddy. And I was like, yeah, well, shit, this is kind of funny. I'm basically waiting for to be unloaded onto these docks where there's so many people, all these customs officials. I was thinking I was gonna get, arrested, and after being told all this. And the way they take you off the ship is they lowered the strap down for me with this massive crane. They lowered this little strap, and it's basically like standing on a little swing, and it wasn't even a net this time. It was basically I was just standing there holding on to the strap, and I got on. I was like, all right, this is my last breath of freedom. And I remember getting lifted way up in the air, and I got way above everyone on the wharf, above everyone on the boat, and everyone on the wharf is just staring at me, all these officials, and I'm like, here I am. I wish I could film. It was a pretty comical situation, and I was thinking, I'm like, here I am, my last breath of freedom, and when they lower me down, I thought they were gonna cuff me, and they lowered me down, and it took like a minute or two. And so it was just this weird feeling of absolute freedom standing on this hanging crane thing. And they lowered me down onto the wharf, and I was barefoot and everything, and I just walked away. No one approached me or anything. I walked away, and the next day I was able to get my passport back and get on the flight to Honolulu and then here to Colorado, where I met my parents. A big snowstorm came in, and here we are snowshoeing. But all my gear's still on Christmas Island, so figuring that out. Might have to go get that back and try to join the quai for their village down in the Cook Islands.